there's oftentimes accusations of centering whiteness or coddling white folks. And I would love to hear you both speak to any experiences you've had with that, especially since the books come out, but how you've responded to those if you've had those experiences, or even theoretically how you respond to that idea that um reaching out and showing love to somebody who's resonating with messages from the alt-right at the time, or like Trumpism right now, for example, this America first mentality, uh that is somehow where we shouldn't be spending our energy. Can y'all respond to that?
So what I'll say is when we think about calls to meet people where they're at, and this is why I love Dr. Janet Helms, so we got to give her a shout out and talk about psychological models. We have to understand what's psychologically happening for people. And folks, white folks who are being drawn into white nationalism, don't just start out day one being like, yep, I want to be a white nationalist. They get drawn along a path. And so we have to understand psychologically what's happening. And that's what Dr. Helms offers. And that's what Shelly and I offer in the book, is a way to understand that process. And so that we can get them before they get to that point. And so for folks who say that it's coddling or it's centering whiteness, coddling, I don't think is the right word. I think we're being pragmatic and we're understanding psychologically what's happening. And yes, we're being compassionate and we're being empathetic. I don't think that's coddling. Now, is it centering whiteness? Yeah, in some ways it is, because we're centering white people. But one of the things that we offer in the book is there's a difference between centering white people and the process that's going on for them and centering whiteness. Now, is whiteness what's affecting white people? Yes. But we make a distinction between those two things, which is a complicated process. It's also a psychological process. And so we're offering nuance, and it's like not pithy, it's not easy. And so we're asking folks to slow down and really engage with one another, engage in that. Shelly, I don't know if there's things you'd like to add to that.
Yeah, I just want to add, one of the major themes within the book is how useful, helpful, and imperative having a both and attitude is. And that really picks up on that idea of subtlety and nuance and so yeah, in the distinction between centering white people or whiteness, either way, there is a difference between doing that and the absolute need to self-reflect. And we do need to avoid going down a rabbit hole where white people are only paying attention to white people and paying no attention to anything else. I mean, that is a true critique and it's real. And white people aren't going to make progress unless we are actually self-reflecting on ourselves. And so in that spirit of recognizing the legitimate critique, we also need to be able to push back and say, and there's real work to be done here. So let's be more particular about the language that we're using. And so the scenarios that we talk about in the book are really meant to uplift at what point within our process are these different messages really resonant, and where can we go astray, and how to get us pulled back into a pathway where we are making progress while holding these both and ideas together collectively.